evening all, this is Scott and John from the Mercenary Miniature Painter. We're back for another game of 6th edition Warhammer, and tonight in the campaign we've got two rogue armies facing off. The Skaven were brought in 2-3 turns ago.
Yeah, this is their debut battle.
But this will be their debut battle. Scott is helming them. He's brought a lovely grey seer on a mount tonight.
Yeah, he's on his bell.
So that should be fun. Basically they're just milling around outside Malco where everyone's sort of congregated to. These two, which is quite fitting really, Dwarves and Skaven, have managed to meet up with each other. And the Dwarves have brought in some help.
Yeah, John's brought in a famous duo who you'll see in a minute when we do the armies.
So we've changed lists pretty much. So I'd say Scott's Skaven list, bar a load of weapons teams, but you do need them for the Skaven. It's pretty different to most, and I'd say my dwarf list is fairly different, but it has been sort of seen on the channel before against your Empire, not as much as this, but yeah, so it should be a fun one. There's not really too much to say on this one. We were going to play pitch battle tonight because we've got a lot of scenarios coming up, and we've already done a lot of scenarios, so it just seemed fitting tonight. We've put the armies down on the table, we've done all the terrain, we've rolled for spells, so we'll just get straight into the deployment and the armies and enjoy. Apologies, we haven't got the microphones tonight, so you're going to have to put up with my dodgy camera in, but I'm sorry about that. So for the Dwarves this evening, the army is looking pretty small, and I'll show you why in a minute. So we have 19 great weapons with full command, and they do have shields. We have 20 hand weapon shields. They are full command. We have 9 slayers there. And over here in the scout, we have 10 quarrelers. And just off the table at the back there, we have 2 units of miners, 1 10 and 1 6. One's got a prospector in it, the 10 has. And then for the characters tonight, we have the man himself, Ragnar, in here with his unit. He is the Dwarf Lord. We have old Helga here. She is a BSB tonight, even though she ain't got a banner on her. Why you might think I'm so far at the table is she does have Stroller's Rune on that banner. So I have already moved up my 6 inches before me and Scott roll off. We have a Dragon Slayer in with his Slayers over here. And then I knew Scott was going to do a little funny business with scouting. So I've hid my Runesmith in the wood here to try and stop him surrounding me. And then in the big rare slot tonight, we've brought them in. The man, the myth, the legend, Gotrek and his manlin Felix. So they will be playing for me tonight. They're a big hefty chunk of points. And if they get killed by Gutter Runner Stars, I'm not going to be too pleased about it. But fingers crossed they can get in and do something, but that is 2,000 points of Dwarves. Scott showed the deployment, and then we'll do the roll-off.
So for the Skaven tonight, I'll just go left to right. So on this flank, I've got 6 Giselles, and I've got 3 units of Clan Rats with just Musician and Rattling Gun. And then I've got 25 Storm Vermin with a Rattling Gun of their own. And the characters I've got tonight, I've got the Grey Seer up there. He's got Warp Lightning, Death Frenzy, Vermintide and Skitterleap. And then I've got a Warlock Engineer here. A Warlock Engineer here. And a BSB there. And then the only other things I've got are 2 lots of Gutter Runners. So 1 lot are here and another lot in the woods here. They're both scouting. Neither of them are tunneling tonight. So they will start on the board. And over to John for the Dwarves. So yeah, as you can see, you probably saw from the army videos, but we are facing off mostly in this clearing on the right hand side. We scattered the terrain, so don't blame us for it clustering up. Sometimes John's scatter rolls are really accurate, and today they weren't. Everything went over here.
We didn't have artillery.
Yeah, we were just saying that because my Grey Seer would be in a bit of trouble if he had some artillery flying all over the place. Anyway, that's it. So we're just going to roll for first turn. We're doing the pitch battle, so usual victory conditions. So table quarters will apply on this one. I know me and John often don't have it, but we are doing the full command today. So pipped you over with a 6. I think I will be remiss if I don't take the first turn, especially because I got a lot of backfield shenanigans to worry about. I need to get away from the board edges. So I'll come back with Skaven turn 1. Skaven turn 1. I've moved this unit up here just because I don't just want to sit forward and wait to get smashed. I do want to be able to sort of round out and have some other options later on in the game. This unit similarly has reformed, just turning around just because there is a chance that some sneaky miners might come up behind me, and I just want to deter them from getting a load of flank charges. And then the gutter runners, they just run. Those ones at the back are running up into the open, and these ones here moved up to march block onto the dwarf warriors. Magic, mixed bag. So John stopped the first 2 warp lightnings from this guy and the seer.
Failed the first one.
Sorry, no, yeah, this one failed. In fact, he's let me down all round because he at the end did a storm demon, which John stopped, and then it ran out. So he's not really making a name for himself. The grey seer, he managed to do a warp lightning, but John stopped it, and I did get through a vermintide, but it fell just 1/4 of an inch shy of the slayers. However, as you can see, there aren't that many slayers left, and that's thanks to this one here. And this warlock did a big warp lightning, did 8 wounds, and even though John's got the banner of Grugny, he only managed to save 0. I was 1 for a second, but no, he was just 8 dead.
2 left now.
But the banner did redeem itself a bit because the Giselles opened up, and despite needing 5s to hit, I did get 3 hits. I did nearly blow myself up with one of them, but I managed to stave that off. But John saved 2 out of the 3, so only 1 dwarf fell to the disgusting warpstone bullets. And then the bell rang and scared all the cavalry that aren't on the table, so that was useful. And that was about it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gut runners couldn't do anything because they marched, so on to John's turn 2.
Turn 1 for the dwarves was very eventful. I think that's probably the quickest turn ever, Scott, isn't it?
Might actually be. It was about 10 seconds, I think.
So these 2 split up now. He's gone his own way. The Dragon Slayer's gone up. These 2 just moved up their 6. Gotrek and Felix have come up their 6. And then the Quarrelers have moved round the 6 over there. And that is turn 1 dwarves. Over to some rattling guns.
Turn 2 to the Skaven, and given that I have the shoot eater list, it's all going my way so far, but that doesn't say how it's going to go later. So the gutter runners in the woods have given a wide berth to the famous Gotrek Gurnisson and his companion there that we don't fancy getting chopped to bits just yet. These ones have conga lined along the back of the table still. These have all pretty much stayed where they were. These moved a bit, and the warlock zipped over here because I didn't want to give the slayers too easy a target if I failed to dispatch them, but as you can see, it's gone my way. So despite the fact that this jerk here managed to roll an 8 and didn't cast his warp lightning, the grey seer and this guy did all the work, so they've managed to zap away. So no, actually no, he didn't either, did you? Can't remember.
I stopped one of them.
You stopped that one. The grey seer though did a mighty, I think, was it 5 wounds, and you saved... No, sorry. No, did 3 wounds. You saved 1, but wasn't enough.
Himself, then.
He did, yes. Despite having regeneration, he has pinked a wound off himself. And what else happened? Oh, yeah, the Vermintide wiped out the last of the basic slayers. So they're gone. And then the shooting phase, I fired a load of stuff at these and dropped just 5 of them. And this final rattling gun could only see this unit and dropped 2. So they passed their panic test. And then the bell went off, exploded the eardrum of one of my storm vermin, but it has made that unit now cause terror. So on to John's turn 2, and it is actually turn 2 this time.
Does the bell cause fear? Turn 2 for the dwarves was just about as quick as turn 1, but I did get to roll for my miners. So the big unit, they failed, but I have got a prospector with a steam drill in, and he did pass the second time. The other unit did fail, so they're not coming on. So they've just moved up behind there. I have Arcades Clan Rats. The Quarrelers have come on up. The Lord Ragnar's jumped in with these guys, and they've just done a wheel and shuffled forward, and then the Great Weapons have moved up to there. Gotrek and Felix have come on to there, up to there, and that was it. So that was all she wrote, and that was turn 2 for the Dwarves. On to some rats.
Turn 3, and John's pulled one of his classic tricks. He had the Banner Challenge, which forced my Grey Seer to either charge in or flee. And as I'm quite close to the table edge, I wasn't going to flee, so they've gone smashing in to the Dwarf Warriors over here. These ones moved up to support. They've moved up behind. Over here, because of the minor threat, I wasn't in arc with this unit to charge, so they just had to move around a bit. The Warlock jumped into this unit so that he could see them, and they've had to sort of angle themselves to try and misdirect that unit if it all goes wrong. For Magic Phase, he let me down, cast at them.
They got magic resistance.
They got magic resistance too, so they barely drew any dice away. He's once again failed to cast Warp Lightning on this unit, which was frustrating. And the Grey Seer didn't manage to cast Vermintide. He did 5 dice Death Frenzy using one of his warp tokens, but John had kept a sneaky scroll in the background to stop me from doing that, which, considering how close the combat ends up being, I think that was pretty pivotal.
You did actually kill quite a few. The Storm Vermin did, anyway.
The basic ones, yeah, they held their own. And then over here, the 2 Rattling Guns there mowed down quite a few, but not enough miners to get rid of them. This one here plinked off a couple from this unit, I think. And this one wasn't able to see anything. The Giselles killed a single ranger on this unit there. And once again, the Gutter Runners were running about too much to throw their weapons. In the combat phase, it started off alright. I think I killed 1 with impact hits and 2 with the Storm Vermin. And John, so that did change John's mind about attacking the Grey Seer directly, because he then had to make sure the unit was smashed about a bit. But luckily for me, I did manage to scrape a draw still, despite the obscene amount of attacks, and the Grey Seer is just about still alive. So I don't hold too much faith for this unit now, unfortunately. But as I said, at least I survived a turn of it, so we'll see what happens next time round.
Turn 3 for the Dwarves. So the miners didn't come on again, sadly. The other charges were these 3. I knew they were going to be within 3 of this one, so I opted to charge that one because I didn't want to get stood and shot. He fled, so that's where they went. He got far enough away. These guys charged the Clan Rats, got held, so that was where they went. And Gotrek and Felix come up to here, and the Quarrelers come up to there. And then, obviously, no magic, no shooting, so into the combats. I managed to kill 3. Scott did do 1 back, and he lost by 1, but he held. And then in this one, Scott done nothing, but I done 6 wounds to him. But with his outnumber, banner, and ranks, he just lost by 3. He failed on a 9 first time, and then he passed because of his BSB. So they're still in it there, which is handy for Scott. Yeah, and that's how it's all looking coming into Skaven turn 4. And Scott's got some charges to do.
Alright, Skaven turn 4, and it's started to go a little bit against me now. So, the magic phase, my Warlock here miscast, and he's not there anymore, but he was here with his unit. He miscast and lost his spell level and the only spell he knows, so he effectively became useless anyway. This one also miscast and wounded himself. The Grey Seer did do Vermintide and didn't do any damage with it. and John just about stopped my death frenzy on the storm vermin. And then shooting phase, I did wound both Gotrek and Felix with poison throwing stars, but their ward saves stopped it. I plinked off 3 of these with Giselle's. Did you do a panic test for them? No, something might go my way. No. And one of the rattling guns wiped out the 3 miners that were here. These 2 rattling guns fired into this combat. They did sort of about equal damage. They killed slightly more of my own, and stripped the rank off both of the combatants. But it wasn't enough, and then into the combat. So I lost here, only just, but unfortunately enough to break and run away, and also caused this rattling gun here to run away.
BSB didn't save you.
BSB did not save me, unfortunately. Although over here it did do its job, because despite getting a flank charge, I did absolutely abysmally in terms of trying to do any damage. And Ragnar absolutely smashed through. What was it? With him and Helga killed 7 of my storm vermin. Yes. So that was pretty nasty. But thanks to the BSB, once again, I rolled a 12. My first break test, but thankfully the BSB held both my units in place. So yeah, hoping that luck continues to hold until my turn, I can hopefully do something else. Although I'm slightly wishing now I brought the gutter runners closer to actually support. I didn't think I'd need them, but now it looks like I probably will. So on to John's turn 4.
Turn 4 for the Dwarves. So finally the miners did come on. They got a little bit lost on their way there, but they are here now, so I just moved them up to there to give Scott something to think about. Charges, these guys charged the clan rats who went off the table, and those quarrelers charged that rattling gun just to get it a bit further out of the way. He didn't go far enough for my liking really, but he's gone over to there. Gotrek and Felix just moved up to here. They're gonna have to run the gauntlet this turn, I think. But I should have supported this combat originally, but never mind. And then in said combat, Scott did manage to kill a dwarf this time, only one. I didn't do very well with Helga this time, but I did kill the champion challenge. She only killed 1, and then knowing I was a lot down, I had to attack the unit with Ragnar. Ragnar dispatched another 4 of them, killed all the storm vermin, so it ended up a tight combat. And that's how it's live now. On to Scott's turn 5.
Skaven turn 5, and yeah, it's not been too bad at all. I think that this might go down in a moment of infamy for the old world here. As all right, I moved around with what I could, and yeah, John's put them on. So first of all, I got a nice big irresistible force warp lightning. I then rolled a double 6 for how many hits I did, so 6 on each of them. Gotrek took. I can't remember how many wounds I actually did to him. I think I did 3 wounds, and he saved 1 with his ward save. Felix, though, tanked all... So he suffered 4 wounds, and he tanked all of them with the Gotrek's Doom save. But then the sneaky gutter runners threw a load of poison throwing stars, and they killed Gotrek, which was bad news bears for Mr. Felix, because as me and John found out upon checking the book, the ward save only counts when he's got big boy Gotrek following him around. So a rattling gun just mowed him down. John still rolled his ward saves, and
passed him.
and then I was staring at him bemused, wondering why he was doing it after he literally just told me he didn't get one anymore. But luckily for John, the rattling gun here did only 2 wounds, and John saved them both. And did I kill the miners, or was that the previous turn? I've forgotten now.
That was that turn. They only just come on.
Yeah. Miners got annihilated by the Giselles and the other rattling gun. And then in the combat, amazingly, so Ragnar decided that now there's no one else around to fight, that he was going to call a challenge. My BSB had to take it to stop the Gracier from being mulched. I did get, from the... what did the bell give me again? Hatred. So yeah, I had Hatred and Frenzy on this unit, so I got Death Frenzy off this turn. And still, these clan rats did absolutely nothing. Neither did my BSB, unsurprisingly, and neither did the Greyseer, unsurprisingly. But what was surprising is that Helga messed up and failed to hurt the Greyseer. The unit only killed two clan rats. But in Ragnar, he's got tired after slaughtering about 15. I think he killed 15 storm vermin by himself, and he only did a single wound to my poor BSB, so he is hanging in there. John rolled and did break, but he also has a BSB, so he held, and we are stuck there. So my excitement was diminished ever so slightly. But as I said, I've killed the two big heroes of the game, so now I just need to try and make sure my Greyseer doesn't die, and hopefully try and take some honour in that one, or lack of honour.
Turn 5 for the Dwarves. So these guys just turned and moved up as far as they could towards that rattling gun. These guys moved towards the rattling guns, and then he just hid and wired away the gutter runners. And then that was all the movement. In the combats, we whiffed it again pretty much. I moved the lady in to fight these. So Scott done nothing to me. He done one wound, but he saved it. Between her and the Dwarves, we only killed one clan rat. Done nothing to the Greyseer with the two in there. And then Ragnar in the challenge only done bloody one wound again. So he did kill the BSB this time. But Scott won by a couple. We didn't bother tallying it. I rolled a 4. So it was never going to be that, and the never-ending combat goes on into the last 2 turns, or Skaven last turn.
Bit of a mixed bag for last turn for the Skaven. You might see that there's not much left on the table. Both the gutter runner units charged. These guys charged in over here, and those ones were in the woods, so they were able to get after this poor thing. No, what's he? Runesmith. Shooting phase. This rattling gun and the Giselles wiped out. In fact, no, 2 rattling guns and the Giselles wiped out a unit of quarrelers. Sorry, the Rangers, and this one here plinked off 2 of this unit here, dropping them below half strength. The combats, only one of my gutter runners initially made it to combat, so I didn't do any damage, but I didn't take any, so I've expanded my frontage, so I am in a better position now, but it didn't go as well as I hoped it would. Over here was a disaster, despite getting Frenzy off on the gutter runners as well as the clan rats. The gutter runners only did 1 wound, and the clan rats once again did nothing. Luckily for me, John rolled horribly. His dwarves were not in a killing mood, were they? So it was just on Ragnar, and he smashed the Greyseer to bits, and I failed all of my saves with him. So he's gone. The bell is gone, and in fact, does the bell immediately go if the Greyseer dies? Oh, let's double check. Right, slightly contentious between us. So the bell, the unit was wiped out separately. The Greyseer has died. Now the rules state if the Greyseer and his unit flee, then it's abandoned and destroyed, but it doesn't say anything about if they die. Now my reasoning is it still has a striker, so it can't move, can't do anything. But I think there's an argument to be made that unless the dwarves win the fight, they can't. They're too occupied to. You can direct attacks against the next turn by all means, but
you're making up rules for it now as well. An empty chariot.
Well, no, because you can still attack. It says on the rules.
We said if the Greyseer is there, it's destroyed. But if the Greyseer dies, it's not destroyed. That just sounds like bollocks.
It says if they flee, it runs away. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. Right. But yeah. Anyway, we won the combat despite all of the bollocks, but the dwarves have held. So John's last turn, and then we'll see if we're going to argue over the bell, depending on how close it is. Last turn. My ignore my silliness.
You change your mind now. Yeah, for the last turn, there wasn't a lot we could do. These guys just charged. They were supposed to move a little bit, but they just charged that one there. Yeah. I don't know why you didn't hold, just in case. You never know.
Because you might have overrun.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I could have broke it. Yeah, so that was the only charge. And then in the combats, we done one each here. I held.
Yep.
Just. And then in this one here, if we played Scots rules, I won and everything broke. But I was nice enough to say, no, I think that's a rubbish with the Screaming Bell. I think if the Grey Seer is dead, it is gone, and all the units dead as well. So I did whiff it quite badly again. Scott only managed to kill one dwarf this time.
It's because Ragnar just blew himself out.
Yeah, at the start, yeah. But to be fair, that was when I needed him anyway, so he did hold us there. Ragnar needed to kill a lot more. He only managed to do 1 wound, and we done 2 wounds to the clam rats from my lovely lady there. And then the champ managed to kill a gutter runner. End up a tight combat. We both got musicians. And that was it, my friend. Great game. That was a fun one, that was.
That was. There was a lot of things to add up. I don't think there's any quarters going. And you've got a general and a BSB, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. We will just come back once we tallied it up.
Yeah.
That is it. And despite some contentious things about the Screaming Bell, it turned out not to make any difference. Because, how'd you do?
You got 12-20. The one thing for you, never got any bonus points.
I think, yeah, the big things are losing to it. Hindsight being 2020 and everything, I did think about not moving both the gutter runners into combats just to try and go and run after the 2 table quarters instead. But
you nearly broke that unit a couple of times.
It was just a thing like I had like 580 odd points wrapped up in it, so I had to try and break out of it. Because if you break that unit, you win the game. It's all right saying you draw for a couple of table quarters and maybe get a draw, but if you break my unit, I don't think I was close enough to draw anyways. I think it probably was the right decision.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
and I very nearly killed your runesmith there as well.
That would have pulled you a bit closer, but it wouldn't have been quite enough.
No.
But yeah, 12-20 to you.
That combat in the middle though, I just had us, both of us, every turn like, come on. Because when initially I thought I'm done, then I survived it, then I got a flank charge and I thought, I'm going to nail you now, especially when I
just couldn't believe how good Ragnar done to start with, because he was just killing everything, and I was like, oh, this is going alright, this is going way better than
worst thing is, I can say now, so you were umming and ahhing about whether or not you should charge me when I had terror. I had the bloody banner that gives you fear. So I just had to win that first round of combat, and it would have gone horribly wrong for you. Yeah. But unfortunately, I didn't, and just couldn't.
Yeah, I was wondering why the BSB was so pricey after. Is that what you had on him?
I think in general, what was it? I think one of the things that hampered me slightly is I had a few magic items throughout that were more planned, a slightly more shooty list from you. I had the Umbra banner on the actual unit banner as well.
4 upwards and that.
So that didn't end up coming into much effect, but no, it was fun. I'm sad.
I think if I'd have brought shooting one, it would have been a bit of a tedious game because it would have just been stand back and see who can plink off the most damage throughout a game.
I think I probably would have ground you down ever so slightly.
The only thing is if I killed the bell.
The bell,
if I had cannons and stuff like that and killed the bell.
The big thing, I am a little bit sad, although I'm glad I killed them. Gotrek and Felix never even made it into combat, so we didn't get to see what they did.
Swine.
Although, it just turns out if it had happened the other way around and Felix had died first, Gotrek
surviving a 12 dice warp lightning on them, that was pretty Gotrek and Felix, wasn't it? To be honest, I'm surprised. They survived that and then got 2 lots of rattling guns just to finish it.
We'll assume they got dug out from somewhere, that they're not quite dead yet. The dwarves have won handily enough to drive off a bunch of scabby rats. So the rats haven't made much of a dent in the
better roll campaign for them as well.
Yeah, let's do that now. Right.
3, he's alright.
He's alright. He's injured or something.
You lose a wizard,
possibly, but we've only got 1 turn left of the campaign after this, isn't it? So you're not going to make too much odds. You might be slightly worse. Up here, so the Skaven, where are they? They're in the forest somewhere, so they'll get kicked off. Maybe even have to fight the winner of the fight up there, possibly.
They come from the road down there, so they'll be kicked back down that way.
Fair enough. Right, we've got plenty of other things this turn, so you won't see a map update for a while, because the next battle, I think we're going to do... Do you want to do them?
Well, the only thing, that one's a lot more pivotal than the Malco one. So
do you want to do the Malco one next? Yeah, so we'll do the second battle for Malco. As we said, the walls have been breached now, because the gate did get smashed, so we won't just run the same siege again, because it'd be a bit tedious. But we've got a nice scenario from the General's Compendium where you have the castle walls, but the battlefield is shifted inside of the walls, so it's full of buildings, and there'll be a bunch of special rules on that one.
Table.
It will indeed. We will. I'm not sure. Might miss next week, unfortunately, just because I got work and things with packed schedule, and John's packed out on the weekends, so might be delayed a week. But we'll do our best to get one out, and
there'll be some sort of content.
We will get something up. So, hope you enjoyed that one, and see you again next time.